Gene in Jersey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for the great campaign, and I would like you to talk about the general strikes in Spain and in England to inspire us in America, or the U.S. America, which has not had one general strike, and also the idea that we really need to have a 30-day general strike so we can stop the system and turn to socialism. I'd like to hear what you have to say in terms of women and people of color leading that in a leadership role.
Well, it's easy to call for such a general strike, quite another thing to achieve it, and quite another thing to know what we would do with the power that would fall into our laps as a result. We're a long way from that, either in Spain or in England, and much further away from that in the United States. But there's another issue that has to be faced by progressive people. We don't live in an era where general strikes mean what they meant, because the workforce is wholly different from the workforce in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, even the 60s. We live in a very different economic and social picture. It's not different in its fundamentals, but it's different in its makeup. And there are huge numbers of people that need to be won to the progressive cause who are not organized workers, who are not in unions, and for whom the idea of a general strike is meaningless. There are small business people, there are people who are unemployed, there are people working in professions for whom a general strike is meaningless. We need to make a coalition of organized working people, people of color, women, people who are amongst the most oppressed in our society, the immigrants, the minority ethnic communities. We need to find ways of bridging all of these things, because they are what makes up the 99%. The 99% are not blue-collar, trade union card-carrying people for whom a general strike is the obvious answer. I have no doubt that in any revolutionary situation, general strikes would be a part of the developments that were going on. But let's start uniting people and organizing them, educating them, agitating them about the possibilities that lie ahead of us. And
okay, well, in your campaign, how did people of color and women take leadership roles?
Well, they burst onto the scene. It was a truly extraordinary thing to witness. It was watching theory become practice. I told you at the beginning of this brotherhoodism, where the elders in the society effectively moved thousands of people in previous elections and in other respects to the polls to vote for whoever the brotherhood had pledged its loyalty to. But we, by coming into this campaign and by projecting our ideas, and I hope doing so well, captured the hearts immediately, particularly of young people at first, and then women. And those young people and those women began to work in their own households. And these are extended households, of course. It's not just ma and pa and the kids, it's ma and pa and the kids, and her ma and pa and his ma and pa and his sisters and brothers. By the grace of God, these people have large families, and they talk about politics, and they talk about elections in particular when politics is at its highest, politics is at its sharpest. And they were arguing that this guy, Galloway, stood for us and defended us, and he defended the cause of our co-religionists in other parts of the world. He's got a message about the poor and about the unemployed. He's got a message about the society in general. He is a tribune of the 99%, and we should be with him. And slowly but surely, over a 2-day period, that happened. And by the end, the reason I knew that we were going to win handsomely was because we had 500-600 people maybe working in our election campaign. And every one of them was part of a family of 20 or 30 people. And the people just going past in the cars, flashing their lights, sounding their horns, was all an indicator that we had a wave going on. It was really something to behold. Unfortunately, it was all off the radar. Nobody was reporting it, though obviously people are now trying to piece it back together again, because this story, more than 10 days later, nearly 2 weeks later, is still the biggest political story in the country. And it's good to be at the center of that, I must say.